Hello you guys, this is Roya from Roja's English. I hope you're having a good day. Today I'm here with another lesson from American English File 1 General English course, and we have Unit 2B with the topic America. So if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our channel because I'm sure you're going to learn a lot from our lessons. Let's dive in. So in Unit 2B, we have vocabulary for adjectives and also grammar for adjectives. So our focus today is actually on adjectives. And then we have pronunciation, which is about long and short vowel sounds. And finally, we also have a speaking and reading section. As usual, I'm going to start the session with a little warm-up. So I'm going to propose this question. What are typical American things? Do you know any American things? Please give yourself a few moments and think about this. And maybe write down a few things that you know are typical American things. Good. Now I'm going to introduce some of them to you. So one of the most typical American things is hamburger. Yes. The food that most of us love. Another one is Hollywood, the company that produces a lot of movies. Then we also have apple pie. Yes, this is American, typically American. And finally, country music. So this is very special to America. I'm sure you know a lot more, so you can just make a list for yourself. Section 1, Vocabulary. Now, I want to do a little practice with you here. On the left side of my slide, you can see some colors. So I'll put a cross into each color, and then I want you to tell me what color is that. So let's see. What color is that? Very good. It's dark blue. What color is that? It's red. What color is that? It's green. Very good. And that? Black. Next one. Purple. Next. Yellow. Very good. And the last one? Light blue. So remember that we have dark blue and light blue. Dark blue is the opposite of light blue. So we can use that for all other colors. For example, we can have dark green or light green as well. Now, please go to page 152 to the vocabulary bank for adjectives. And look at part A. As you see, we have some adjectives and we also have some pictures. So what I want you to do now is pause this video and give yourself some time to match the words and pictures. Nice. Now let's check the answers. You can also listen to track 2.7 to check your answers, or you can just look at my screen here and we will check them together. So we have number 19, beautiful, and the opposite is ugly. The opposite of beautiful is ugly. Number 2, big and small. Number 7, cheap and expensive. Number 4, clean and dirty. Number 5, easy and difficult. Number 9, fast, slow. Number 6, full, empty. Number 1, good, bad. Number 10, high, low. 17, hot, cold. 20, light, dark. 11, long, short. 14, old, new. 16, old, young. 15, rich, poor. 13, right, left. 12, right, wrong. 3, safe, dangerous. 8, the same, different. 18, strong, weak. 21, tall, short. 3 of these adjectives have 2 meanings, old, right, and short. So let's look into their meanings. Let's start with old first. We can use old to describe people, for example, an old lady. So that means someone who is normally over than 60 years old. We call them old. Or you can say an old object, for example, an old book. Then that means a book that was written many, many years ago. Then we have right. So we have 2 hands. We have a right hand and a left hand. Or sometimes some information can be right or wrong. For example, maybe you took a test and one of your answers was not right. So that means it was wrong. Then we have short. So sometimes short is the opposite of long. For example, a long ruler or a short ruler. And sometimes it is the opposite of tall when we describe people. For example, Mary is very tall or she is very short. Good. Now, are you ready for some practice? I want to ask you the opposite of some of the adjectives we just looked at on this page. So maybe you can close your book. That would be a good idea. And then go to your memory to remember the words. Please tell me, what's the opposite of old? Young. Thank you. Or it can also be new. What's the opposite of expensive? Cheap. What is the opposite of low? High. What is the opposite of safe? Dangerous. And what's the opposite of weak? Strong. What is the opposite of cold? Warm or hot. Very good. And what's the opposite of fast? Nice job. Slow. Now on this page in part C, we have an information box that shows modifiers. We have 2 modifiers here, very and really. So what are modifiers? We use them before adjectives, sometimes to describe the adjective actually. So we can say a Ferrari is very fast, or a Ferrari is really fast. Now please look at the activation. Look at the things in the list. Say 2 adjectives for each one, and also use modifiers. So, for example, the first word in the list is a Ferrari. We need 2 adjectives for that. Let's imagine fast and expensive. Now we need to put it in the sentence and also use modifiers. So we can say, a Ferrari is really fast and very expensive. Give yourself a few minutes to do that, and then we will look at some possible answers. So, the possible answers now. Mount Everest is very high and cold. Of course, you can use other adjectives that are suitable, but here we have just some examples. Bill Gates is American and very rich. The Mona Lisa is beautiful, old, and very small. So you see here we have 3 adjectives. So we separate them by commas. Beautiful, old, and very small. For the last one, we use and. The pyramids are very old and very tall. Africa is very hot and very big. Now, please look at the second box about opinion adjectives. We have 2 adjectives, good and bad, which are opinion adjectives. That means they tell us about somebody's opinion. For example, when I say Mark is a good boy, that's my opinion about Mark. That means I think he is good. But we also have some alternatives for good and bad. So for good, we have nice. What's the meaning of nice? Does it mean good exactly? Well, nice is more from the heart. So food can be nice, people can be nice. A time or a holiday can be nice if you just want to say that you had a pleasant experience. But good is a more general word, and it's somehow closer to standard. The next alternative is grade. So grade means very good, so it's better than good. And we have also fantastic, which means extraordinarily good or attractive. So it's very close to great, but remember, fantastic is an informal word. We also have 2 words for bad. So we have awful, which means very bad, so unpleasant, and also terrible. Terrible means extremely bad or serious. It is sometimes combined with fear. Section 2, grammar. Now let's start with grammar on page 16. Section 2, 4 adjectives. So please look at the American icons at the bottom of this page. You can see some pictures. What are they? Please label the photos using an adjective from the gray circle and a noun from the blue circle. You'll have 2 minutes to do that. Please pause the video for 2 minutes. Okay, now let's check them. Number 2 is or better say, yellow taxis. Number 3, fast food. Number 4, French fries. Number 5, White House. Number 6, blue jeans. Number 7, hot dog. And number 8, New York. Good. Now look at part B. and circle the correct word or phrase. So the first one, can I have a hot dog or a dog hot, please? Can I have a hot dog? The adjective should come before the noun. And number two, in New York, the taxis are yellows or yellow. Yellow. Yeah, so that means we cannot add plural S to colors or adjectives. Now, please go to page 126, Grammar Bank 2B. On page 126, 2B, we have a white box on the left side with some examples for you. You can listen to me or also listen to track 2.8. And it's always a good idea to repeat the examples. So, number one, the White House is in Washington, D.C. White is bold and a little blue, so that's the adjective here. It's a beautiful picture. The adjective here is beautiful. And it's an old book. So old is the adjective here. Now, as you see, adjectives go before a noun. So we say it's a beautiful picture, not it's a picture beautiful. That's the wrong way. Now, if an adjective begins with a vowel in an adjective plus noun phrase, we use an. So we cannot say it's a old house because old starts with a vowel sound. Starts with the O sound, which is a vowel. So we should say it's an old house. Now let's look at example number 2. They're blue jeans. So blue is the adjective here. We're new students. New is the adjective here. Adjectives don't change before a plural noun. So we cannot say they're blues jeans. We don't change adjectives to plural forms. Just their blue jeans. Number 3, he's strong. We aren't rich. Is your car new? So the first two are simple affirmative sentences. He's strong. Strong is the adjective, and we aren't rich. That's a negative sentence. Rich is the adjective here. So here we use adjectives after the verb be. So my car is new, for example, is the to be verb, and then we have the adjective. Or the computer isn't cheap. Isn't is the negative to be verb, and cheap is the adjective. And if we have a question, then to be verb goes to the beginning, and then the adjectives comes last. So we have be and then subject and then the adjective. Is your car new? Is the computer cheap? Good. Now for number 4, it's a very big city. So here we have a modifier, very. We're really tired. Again, really here is a modifier. So we can use them before adjectives. Now, please look at page 127 to be practice and start with part 1. Circle the correct sentence. Please try to do this in 2 minutes. Let's check the answers. Number 1, it's a very big house. Number 2, is Louis French? Number 3, it's an expensive watch. Number 4, is it an easy exercise? 5, is your girlfriend Vietnamese? 6, these questions are very difficult. 7, are they cheap tickets? And 8, my new glasses are very good. So now you should go for part B. Put the words in the correct order. to make sentences or questions. Please try to do this in 3 to 4 minutes. Let's check the answers now. Number 1, it's a very hot day. 2, is your teacher Australian? 3, that car isn't very fast. 4, it's a bad idea. 5, are you good students? 6, English is very easy. 7, my brother is really strong. And 8, this is a slow train. Section 3, pronunciation. So on page 17, we have the pronunciation section, section 3. And here we talk about long and short vowel sounds. So in part A, you can see a chart, and we have 6 sounds here, which are long and short vowel sounds. So please listen to the words and sounds. You can listen to me or listen to track 2.9 and try to repeat. So first we have the short vowel I, like fish, fish. The next one is the long vowel of the same kind. So it's E, like tree, tree. So again, let's compare them. Fish, that's the short one. Tree is the long one. Okay, let's get to the next one now. We have the sound ah, like clock, that's the short one. And then we have saw, saw, that's the long one. So these two may be a little confusing for many students. The thing is, with the first one, with the short one, clock, I open my mouth completely. So I say clock, clock. My mouth opens completely. But when I want to pronounce saw, my chin drops down and the sides of my mouth move in. They come closer to each other. So I say saw, saw. You need to practice this a few times to get better. And then we have the last two. We have the short O sound, which is bull, bull. And then the long oo sound, boot, boot. Okay, again, you need to practice them more. You need to repeat them more times to be able to pronounce them more easily. So now please look at part B. Listen to track 2.10 and write 2 adjectives for each sound in the chart. Let's check them. So for fish, the short A, we have rich and big. For tree, we have easy and cheap. For clock, we have hot and calm. For saw, we have small and tall. For bull, we have full and good. For boot, we have blue and new. Good. Now, in part C, you need to make phrases with an adjective and a noun with the same vowel sound. For example, if you look at the 2 groups, we have adjectives. We can choose big with the short it sound and city, again, with the short it sound, so they have the same vowel sound. And then we need a or an. So big city, it would be a big city. So we make a phrase. Now, please give yourself some time and do this exercise. Let's check the phrases. So we have a big city, a black bag. We have cheap jeans, a good book, a gray day, a long song, new boots, an old photo, and a short story. Section 4, Speaking. For the beginning of the speaking section on page 17, I'd like to give you a small task. So, first, please think of 8 things you have. Maybe in your room, maybe in your bag, anywhere, maybe in your office. So, please write them down and make some adjectives, use some adjectives for them. For example, if you have a pair of shoes, you can think of the color of those shoes or maybe the size of those shoes. It doesn't matter, we just need an adjective for each item. And after that, I want you to make sentences. So you can say, for example, I have a red kettle, or I have a big lamp. Please make 8 sentences with the items you wrote down. Now the part B task is a communication task, so we need to go to page 103 and 109. So I suggest that you go to page 109 and play the role of a student B. So I will be student A and you will be student B. So you have to go to page 109. What do we need to do here? We need to describe our pictures to each other and find the differences. So, as a student A, I will describe the odd pictures. Odd pictures are picture 1, picture 3, picture 5, etc. And you, as a student B, should describe the even pictures. That would be picture 2, picture 4, 6, etc. So, and when we describe each picture, the other person should say if it is the same or different. So let's just put a mark. For example, when I describe picture 1 and you have a different picture for picture 1, then you can just put a cross next to it, or maybe you can write the letter D next to it, which means it's different. And if it is the same, you can put a check or S, the letter S, to say it is the same. Okay, now let's get started. I will start with picture 1. It's an old house. Can you describe picture 2? Now I describe picture 3. It's a full classroom. What about picture 4? Picture 5. She's an old lady or an old woman. What about 6? Picture 7. He's a poor man. What about 8? Picture 9. It's a dirty floor. Can you describe picture 10? Picture 11. They're small keys. What about picture 12? Okay, now let's look at the answers. So, pictures 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 12 are different. And pictures 2, 6, 8, and 10 are the same. Now, I want to look at page 109. I want to look at your pictures and see. Okay, so picture 1 for student A is an old house, but for student B, it's a new house. Picture 2 is the same. Picture 3 is different. It's a full classroom for student B, but for student A, it's an empty classroom. I think I made a mistake here, so sorry for that. I said it's a full classroom, but I was wrong. I thought the desks make it full, but no. For student A, there are no students, so it's an empty classroom. Picture 4, he's a short man for student B, but for student A, he's a tall man. Picture 5, for student B is a young woman, but for student A, she's an old woman. Picture 6 is the same. Picture 7, for student B is a rich man, but for student A, he's a poor man. Picture 8 is the same. Picture 9 is different. Picture 9 for student B is a clean floor, but for student A, it's a dirty floor. Picture 10 is the same. Picture 11, for student B, they're big keys, but for student A, they're small keys. And picture 12, for student B, they're black cats, but for student A, they're white cats. Section 5, reading. So in section 5, we have the first article in American English File 1, where you can practice your reading skill. Okay, so please look at the article. Focus on the title. The title is American and British English, the same but different. So, what do you think this article is about? Yeah, it's about the differences between American and British English. Now, I want you to give yourself 5 minutes to read the article. Pause this video and read it. So, after you're done reading, please look at part A below the article. The exercise is read the article once and complete it with the headings. So we have 4 headings: grammar, pronunciation, spelling, and vocabulary. The first one is done for you because paragraph 1 is about vocabulary. So that's the good heading, the suitable heading for paragraph 1. Now please do the same for paragraphs 2, 3, and 4. Let's look at the answers. So paragraph 2 is about spelling, paragraph 3 is about grammar, and paragraph 4 is about pronunciation. These are the suitable headings for each paragraph. So for now, you learn 2 words related to reading and articles. We have title, which is the heading of the whole article, and we have headings for each paragraph, or 1 heading for each paragraph. So now I'm going to read this article for you, or if you'd prefer, you can listen to track 2.12. You can read the article and listen at the same time. So, American and British English, the same but different. American and British people speak the same language, English, but with some small differences. Paragraph 1, vocabulary. Some words are different in British English. For example, they say postcode, not zip code, holiday, not vacation, and mobile phone, not cell phone. Some words have different meanings. For example, in American English, a purse is a woman's bag. In British English, a purse is a thing where women have their money and credit cards. Paragraph 2, spelling. Color, favor, and other words that end in OR in American English end in OUR in British English. Center, theater, and other words that end in TER in American end in the TRE in British English. Paragraph 3, grammar. There are some small differences, especially prepositions. For example, British people say see you on Friday, but Americans say see you Friday. And paragraph 4, pronunciation. This is the really important difference between British and American English. American accents and British accents are very different. When a British person starts speaking, Americans know he or she is British and vice versa. Okay, guys, now please look at part C, the exercises again, and mark the sentences T, which stands for true, or F, which stands for false. Please do this in 2 minutes. Let's check the answers now. So number 1 says, American English and British English are very different. But this is false because the differences are small. They are not very different. Number 2, holiday and postcode are the same in British and American English. Again, this is false because in American English, they are vacation and zip code. Number 3, purse has a different meaning in American and British English. Yes, that's true. Number 4, kilometer is the British spelling, but that's false because it's the American spelling. British spelling is Kilometre. So pay attention to the last part. It's T-R-E, not T-E-R. Number 5, British and American grammar are not very different. This is true. And number 6, it's difficult to know if a person is British or American from their accent. It's false because it's easy. Okay, now some words in the article may also be new for you. We have vice versa in the last line, and it's the last word. So it means the other way around. So when it says, when a British person starts speaking, Americans know he or she is British, or vice versa, that means the other way around is also true. When an American person starts speaking, the British know he or she is American. Another word is accent. So it means the way people in a particular area, country, or social group pronounce words. So we have the British accent, we have the American accent, and we also have other accents in English, for example, Scottish accent, Irish accent, the Australian accent, etc. Okay, now are you ready for a small post-reading task? First of all, I want you to tell me what nationality is the writer. What do you think? So I would say the writer is American because if you look at the first paragraph, he starts the paragraph like this. He says, some words are different in British English. For example, they say postcode, not zip code. They say. So he's referring to the British with they. And he says they don't say zip code like us. Yeah, they say holiday, not vacation like us. For this reason, I think the writer is American. Now, the real task is this. Please look at a table on the left side of this slide. We have British and American as headings. We have the American words, but I want you to tell me the British words for these. So let's start with cell phone. What's the British word for cell phone? Mobile phone. What about vacation? Holiday. What about zip code? Postcode. Purse? Okay, maybe you didn't know this. Handbag, because purse in British has a different meaning. The word exists in British, but it has a different meaning. So, center, well, it's the same word, the same pronunciation, just the spelling is different. Instead of T-E-R, we have T-R-E. Color, color, yeah, again, the spelling is different. We have O-U-R. And see you Friday, see you on Friday. Good job. So let's look at some other words that you may remember from the previous units. We had elevator and lift. If you remember in Rob and Jenny's story when Jenny went to the hotel. So elevator is American, lift is British. Cookies, American, biscuits, British. Movie, American, film, British. And apartment is American, flat is British. Okay guys, once again we come to the end of our session. We have completed Unit 2B. Thank you for being here and learning with me. I would really like you to join us on Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. On Telegram, we have more exercises which are related to this course, so please join our Telegram channel. And if you enjoyed this video, please like it. I will see you soon with the next session. Have a good time.